Zambia rise, no compromise. No compromise. Arise and soar. We were born to lead, not crawl. Freedom came through sacrifice. Now we rise and claim the prize.
Hello to our viewers. Welcome to today's important day. A day we are celebrating the Youth Day. And in the studio, we have representatives, people that we are going to have a discussion with, so that as we are celebrating, as we are in this mood, we may learn something from the topic that we have today, which is Arise and Soar. My name is Sansa Dominic, the microbiologist, as well as Safety, Health, Environment and Quality Manager. So before I go further, allow me to allow each and everyone who is in the studio today to introduce themselves. Yes, please.
Well, greetings to our lovely viewers out there. My name is Mwelwa Lobi, and I'm a lawyer and also a youth. Thank you very much.
And I am Paul Simon Mzakazipiri from St. Monica Parish within the Archdiocese of Lusaka. I'm an author, HR educationist, and an advocate for youth positivity and inner healing. Basically, I hope you're going to have a good time together.
Wow. Happy Youth Day to our youth there. Yes. So I know, it's arise and soar, turning challenges into opportunities. Okay. Yes. So Mr. Paul, if I may ask, what does this theme mean?
You see, there's a phrase that was coming to my mind. What a phase, what a time to be alive. But let me put it on what a phase, what a time to be a youth today.
Okay.
You see, to be very honest, I really don't know what was in the mind of the people who were coming up with this theme. But whoever was behind this, I think there was great inspiration, actually. Arise and soar. You see, this is a very most fundamental theme that maybe in the history of when we're contemplating who a youth is something that is very important. Now, there we have got two most important terms, which I'll call it two most important fundamental elements, arise and soar. Now, basically, for us to understand these things very well, we should also draw a bit of philosophical questions from there. Arise, from what?
Okay.
So, to where? So yes. There's what and where. So now, let me begin with arise. When we arise, we are arising from something. And that's something basically that we should understand. Now, I'm going to narrate to the young people. We are arising from our background. We are arising from our mistakes. We are rising from the intimidation, the fear, the discouragement, the bullying, the disappointment, the relationship trauma, the childhood trauma, parental trauma, death trauma. Name them. It is an awakening call. Young man, young woman, mwanaiwe, uka. So it's an awakening call to say, wake up, stand up, and arise. Now, to give more context, remember there was a time Jesus, when he met a man who was crippled, okay, the first thing, he never first healed that man. He told that man, rise and stand up. Meaning, stand from your mat. Okay. Stand from that mat that has crippled you for a longer period of time. So a lot of us, the young people, have been crippled with a lot of things. We've been crippled with a lot of circumstances. We've been crippled with a lot of situations. But it is an awakening call to say, arise. So we arise from something. Now, so there's a symbol, mainly predominant, of an ego. You see, why is it that we must relate so to an ego? Because an ego doesn't fly average. It flies beyond. So it simply means so beyond your limit. If there's a year in which a youth, a young person, should push beyond the limit, it's this year. If you're pursuing a career, if you're a lawyer like counsel here, if you're a function analysis like me, if you're a microbiologist like our presenter there, you must push yourself beyond limit. And that's what it means. So now let's look at the youths in Zambia. Have we been pushing ourselves to the limit to which we need to push ourselves to? Have we been doing the things that we need to do? So I also call it as an extraordinary push, where the things I've been doing in the previous years, they're the things now you do extraordinarily. If it is your talent, if it's your education, if it is at your workplace, if it is the business you're doing, there should be some form of where you do things creatively, things that you have never seen before. Above all, arise and shine, and so it is something that tells you to say, number one, you should let go of what has been pushing you down.
Okay.
Then you should go far more beyond. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself is, have you been pushing yourself far more beyond? That career you've been pushing, do you take it beyond? Your imagination, your dreaming. So it simply means, young people, dream big. Do something big. If you're to be given something, St. Dominic Savio, I think, puts it very well. If you've been given to do something even small, do it with wholeheartedly, because that's where your holiness comes from. Now, to the young people, you have been called this year, this phase, this time, to rise. And so I'm excited with this thing. It's a very wonderful thing.
Wow. Yeah, okay. We are youths. Today, we are celebrating the Youth Day. So, we are youths, very eager to do things. Okay. You find us, you are employed somewhere. Okay. You want to be in leadership. You are in an organization where you are just, being hired. You want to do something there. You want to be in leadership. You want to show them what you can do. Okay, you are in the society, okay, where a lot of things are happening. You still want to be a leader. You want to show, to say, okay, it's a youth with the knowledge. Okay, it's the youth who knows something, just as our theme, arise and soar. Okay, so now, to Mr. Robbie, maybe if I may find out, how can a youth be able to show that leadership?
Well, thank you very much for the particular question. To start with, I think to just be a youth itself is a wonderful gift that just is a phase, so to say, and has to be, give you a lot of wisdom before it actually finishes. But you see, being a youth is also one of the things that you face in terms of challenges, leadership-wise, spiritual, education and things like that, because this is where your life has to settle. You also want to really ensure that everything is in its, actual form and things like that. A lot of challenges are being faced by youths out there. And some of the challenges that we're actually facing is the issue where there's no proper guidance and also lack of actual mentorship and guidance, even as you really get to really move in this particular phase. But one of the ways you can actually use as a means to really overcome challenges as a youth is your willingness and your deliberateness about, the decisions that you take. If today you want to become, let's say, for example, a teacher, you have to be very intentional and very deliberate in that particular field for you to really be able to be able to move. As a youth, the challenges that you face shouldn't really discourage you. They should actually give you an opportunity to actually see how best you can actually, exhibit your strength and also release your full self to your full capacity and capability to be able to soar above a thing. Coming back to the theme for the day, you see, when you say arise and soar, one of the things that is very clear is that they should be action oriented. Because to arise is to act. To soar is to really act. But there are certain things you have to put in place. Issues of discipline, issues of consistency, issues of, hard work and things like that. So as a youth, the challenge that you face, they should give you an idea and also an opportunity to actually be able to act and be able to do the best that you can do. Because this is a gift, but a phase that will actually end at some point. At some point, you and I, or the three of us, will no longer be called youths. Because it will be just a phase that will actually pass. But what is it that we can do before this phase actually passes? So it's just a call to more of wisdom, more of awareness, but more of action-oriented issues and discipline to be able to soar above our limits.
Wow. Mr. Paul mentioned something about an ego, which I remember. I remember there was a point when I was reading about something, also learning about something concerning the ego principles. And this is a youth now, as we are celebrating it day to day. Okay, there's those, as an ego, Okay, an eagle flies alone at altitude. An eagle does not, it narrows its focus. An eagle, it trains before it does what, there's a lot about an eagle. There's a lot that are happening. People are learning from this bait. Okay, and I've seen this is the we are trying to compare, this important bait to youths, okay, what they can learn, what we can learn. So even today as we celebrate, I've also heard Mr. Mwelwa. He mentioned a lot about, challenges and how these challenges can be overcome. So I'll also bring it to Mr. Paul. What do you think, or how do you think, youths can be able to be able to overcome challenges that we are facing right now, okay, today, as we speak, as we celebrate this day? There are still challenges there. There are still challenges out there. How do we overcome them?
All right. You see, let's use the ego as a perfect example. But before I come to the ego, there's something that reminds me. Pan-Africanists, Julius Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, and Patrice Emery Lumumba. I think that similar statements on the young people to say invest so much in the young people, for that is the foundation of the nation. And this is something in most of their public speeches they really, really emphasized. Now, there are a lot of challenges that the young people are facing. Number one, employment, this crime, lack of basic necessities, lack of opportunities for them to excel. The bigger cake, they're not even sharing part of the pieces, and so on. So there are a lot of challenges that the young people are facing, and this is something that generally we should be able to accept. But now, as I've given in my preamble, the awakening call of Arise and Soar, the first thing that I want to say, how do the young people begin to overcome challenges? Number one, discover what you're passionate about.
Okay.
The young people must learn to be passionate about something, not to be excited. Now, that's the difference. The problem is we're excited. There's this opportunity to jumpiramo. No, something you're passionate about. Are you passionate with driving? Are you passionate with football? Be passionate about that particular thing. Number two, discover your talent or your gift. I might combine them, the two, your talent and your gift. If you're able to understand that, then that becomes your powerhouse. With or without employment, you still stand on that particular point. Number three, another thing, how do the young people overcome challenges? Look up to some people. I always talk about young people have right role models. So if you can be able not to look at people who have done great things positively, okay, because you can look up to someone who does evil things, okay, but in this case I'm saying look up to someone who has done something great and something that we can look up to even generations to come. That is something that generally also can help. Number four, seek support. When we say seek support and collaboration, let us learn to collaborate as the young people. When something is pressing you, something is getting to you, find hope. Find hope and find help itself. That's basically one way to which we'll begin to navigate around in all these difficulties. Now, when we come to the economic basis, how do you overcome economic basis as a young person? Value the process. Value the process. So satamangira the trends, pepe kachola, your own health at the cost of your own life. No, value the process one step at a time. If you've got one stand in town where you're selling salaula, stick to that. Grow it, build it, brand it, and let it begin to grow in that area. So the other thing in which how do the youth, because we the youth, we are the grass. We are the grassroots there. So the government should become intentional in providing such opportunities for the young people. It shouldn't be something that they're deliberate policies, but they should be action-oriented. Of course, definitely we have what is called CDF. We have what are all those things. But then there should be something that is more empowering to the young people, that they're able to provide them with more opportunities. that they can not only education opportunities, but even business-wise, career expos, and all those things should become more available. So if you want them to soar, so for example, you can arise them. You say arise, you have given them the CDF, you have given them this. But then for them to reach those beyond limit, don't leave them just there. There are times you just give them CDF and we don't even track. Maybe when I'm maybe when I blow one drama and like, it ends there, we have empowered them. No, follow them up. How did you do this? How did you do that? It's my desire. We have got few of these people like Africa Must Think and so on. What if we have more of that? If the government, respectively speaking, can invest with the private sector in bringing Davido, in bringing who to Zambia, then they can bring also someone who is more inspirational, that can build the young people. We have really excited the young people so much. Kuti Friday, Saturday, weekend, wakolewa, wambera bwino, but after Sunday they are drunk with nothing in their pockets. But what if we become more deliberate in investing them in that? That's one way in which they become more of that. I come to the church as well. How do the church help the young people to overcome? The church is doing a good work, but there should be now more maternal disposition towards the young people, because they are the future of the church. Remember the encyclical of the late Pope Francis, Christi Viviti, the church ever young. I don't know how much we have really taken up that the young people should be brought closer to that, because we are also losing the young people in the church. It's not only in society, it's not only, but even the church is losing young people. Vana wakapeza opportunity kupente, aliza bwino keyboard, atawa, and things like that. So as the church also, there should be a way that they should a little bit embrace us, talk to us about the things that affect us, and create more room for us, that we feel more welcomed and more accommodated, and so on. Lastly but not the least, families. How do you help the young people to overcome challenges? Provide room, enough environment and atmosphere for the children, for the young people to express their talents. Mwana ngatitamua nakonda va music. That is their niche, that is their power. Find a way of supporting them. Mwana akonda hivi. There should be room in which families can be supported. There's just something that feels great when you know Papa is behind your back, Mama is behind your back, your sisters are behind your back. So now, society, the government, the church, if they can now come together and collaborate, I think we are going to generally overcome some of the challenges that are going to be there. But at the same time, we should be arrived to the fact that not all difficulties will be overcome. Lastly, I'm throwing it to the young people that are watching there. Be responsible enough. Be responsible enough. St. John Paul II, in one of the encyclicals on hope, love, and faith, he said something of, in anything you do, be responsible. So as the young people, when you're given the opportunity to go to the university, you have been given the bursary. Make sure you go to school. Not to futu wamba kutawa futu. To school and the like. So we can talk about, no, the government is, but are the young people we're talking about even responsible enough? So the young people should try by all means to be responsible, have right choices you are making, have right association with you. Then generally when we target all these things, I think we're going to have less challenges and difficulties altogether.
Sure. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Yes, you've explained well on Imitiukula. So this, I think, Mr. Mwero, we have different groups. Okay, we have different groups. That is also we have this voice choir group that is doing different things. So how do you think now different groups that are out there can help create opportunities for youths? We are talking about youth empowerment. We are talking about other things. We are talking about youth not having jobs. We are talking about youths complaining today to say, I can't do anything, or maybe saying I'm learned, I have my degree, but I'm home. I can't find an opportunity. I can't work anywhere. What do I do? So I think with all different groups like Voice, what do you think these groups can contribute to create opportunities for
young people?
Yes.
Well, to start with, I think thank you very much. Really, I think there's always need for other institutions, groups, and to really come in and put in their effort with regards to mentoring and really shaping the lives of the youths. Because, like I said, it's basically a gift, but very delicate that has to be taken care of. I think for me, it calls for the right mindset.
Okay.
Because in as much as you may put everything right for the youths in particular, but if there's no right mindset, at the end of the day, we'll still complain about the same thing. So these groups that coming up, like you've said, the Voice of Ecclesia and things like that, they should be able to be so deliberate by coming up with programs that will shape the mindset of the youths. Because back, since time immemorial, the mindset has always been, as a youth, I'll grow up, maybe just have a job, and that it will end there, and things like that. And sometimes when you get to really have a job, you feel like that's it, like you are settled, you are good to go, and things like that. Get married, have children, and things like that. But the question is that really all? Can you really do more? Is that really, the way you can actually just really end there and things like that? Our mindsets were so limited. But the question is, how best can you unlock the mindset of a youth to be able to think really wide and knowing that there's nothing that is really, too hard for them to really achieve? So the groups that are coming up, they should be so intentional in terms of shaping the mindset of the youth. If you've got the right mindset and you give them the money, the empowerment, trust me, they'll do the right thing.
Yeah, I think.
But then if you don't really correct the mindset and then you still give them the money and things like that, the funds and all that stuff, it still come back to the same issues. The same thing that my brother was talking about, where people have been given the money, maybe let's say for CDF and things like that, but at the end of the day, they just go and waste the money and things like that. So the question is, do you have the right mindset? Even before you're exposed to these opportunities and things like that, are you really ready for the opportunities to really be given to you? We ought to be ready as young people, and it also calls for us to be so willing, because sometimes also as young people, our weakness is the failure to really be willing to learn. We don't really consult these people that have gone before us. So there are certain mistakes that have been made that can be corrected by the people that have gone before us. But only we can sit down and consult to say, how did you handle your youth? Okay, if you are to be given back this opportunity, how best can you correct the mistakes that you made back then? So it calls for more of dialogue between the old and new generation, because the new generation is more into media. Okay, but how best can we bridge, the gap that has actually been left, and things like that? So there's more of right mindset, giving up this particular bridge that has actually that is need, to be created by the young people, and also be willing to learn, be intentional, and also be willing to do more of work. The last point I can actually add to this is that as young people, I think the problem I've seen is that we like shortcuts. Like there's no way you want to avoid the process and still expect. There's really need for you to really do the process. Be willing to subject yourself to the process. That's how you can actually arise and you can sow. Because you can't sow before you arise. You get it? So you have to arise and then you sow. So it's a process. But the problem we have is that we are trying to avoid the process. Oh, this one is an author. All I want is just to become the best author ever. But how best can I really, build myself, become more intentional and more deliberate about my future, and for me to actually, grow more into that particular field that I've actually, developed interest in. So there's more to avoid an aspect of shortcuts, but really do the process, then we can actually arise and sow as young people.
Wow, that's great. And then I'll take Mr. Paul back. You're speaking of the unity. These days, even as we are speaking today on this special day, Youth Day, okay, you find that for each and every person, maybe they want to, if you want to do something, let's say I'll put it in political way or anywhere. If you want to know to have this kind of support, you need to involve youths. And now speaking of youths coming together doing this and that, the influence of a youth. Okay, these are youths that we are talking about. So how do you think a youth can contribute to bring unity in the nation, or in the community? In the community,
yeah, how important are we? So it comes back to, I think I've brought out something which is very, very, very important. We are the powerhouse of every generation. And basically, maybe that's why we'll be interested to see that most of the content that is created is targeting the young people. And that is why also even if it is in the political arena, if it is in whatever sphere, they'll target the powerhouse, which is the young people. But even the devil himself knows the power of using a youth. But now, a youth, one of the things that we should know is, first thing first, the power is in our hands. Okay? Someone 2,000 years plus was a youth who died, and we're still talking about that youth until today, and that is Jesus.
Yes.
You see, so now one of the things that we should basically understand, and how do we bring unity and so on. Number one, youths, let us decide what kind of a generation do we want to define. So if we begin by defining the kind of a generation we want and to leave behind, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, in one of our interview, posed this statement that me, I'm worried. And I think I share her feelings. Me, I'm worried if I become a grandmother and the next generation asks me, how is it that you allowed this to happen? What do I answer? So it begins with asking ourselves those serious questions. With the way we are promoting this agenda as the young people, is this the kind of a generation, number one, we want to live? And is this the next generation one that it should be defined?
Okay.
It begins with that.
Yes.
So as the young people should define what generation do we want to shape, define, and build all together. Number two, we must realize that this power is not in the hands of the government. Okay, it's not in the hands of anything. That is Abraham Lincoln, one of the presidents of America, said it very well. It's not the government ruling. Is the people. So if we realize that it's us, now I want people to get me correctly here. The power is in your hands to destroy this society or to build it. So if you think you're being used as a weapon of violence, as a young person, it's building you, it's building society, or the power is still in your hands. But if you think, no, I think you should invest our power in economic empowerment, productivity, discovering ourselves, education, health, and agriculture, and so on. The power, again, is in your hands. So this is something that arise. I welcome. The power is in your hands to become an instrument of distraction or an instrument of productivity. It is you to voice out that. But you see, the problem again is with us young people. Mwenza kambira mbale kuti one shortcuts. You know, ma shortcut yena ngo leads kumatika.
Very true.
Uzadia kamatika sometimes, you know. So we want these things, no, pali so much ichola pa. Go and do this distraction, you do it. But again, I want to remind you of your power. So if you know you're in charge, you don't respond to anything. You don't react to everything. So that's something basically that you should be able to know, and that's how you'll be able to promote.
Mr. Paul, do you believe the future of this country, the future of this nation, Zambia in particular, is really depends on the action of the youths?
Very much, very much, and I'm very optimistic about it, and that is what I'm passionate about it, and that is what I'm passionate about. Let me tell you this: Zambia has got talented people. It's just that we're not exposed. It's just that maybe we don't have enough opportunities. But I must tell you, yes, firmly, 100%. I believe in the future of Mother Zambia, and one of it is the young people. Yes, the only problem is because when there's scarcity, then you expect a lot of crime. You expect a lot of disorientation. And these are the things we're seeing. Because our young people, they're not being exposed to a lot of opportunities. We don't have industries that they can create robotics. Go to countries like China. It's the young people. These phones we're using, they were not made by adults. They were made by young people. And some of these phones actually we're using, these were experiments by the young people. You'll be surprised to say that this phone you're using was experimented by grade 4 in my experimentation. So now it comes back again to what I said. The government should be deliberate in shaping the young people, not just giving them youth day, not just telling them this, that. They should be deliberate. And I'm saying this with passion and with confidence. The government should be deliberate in shaping the people, provide room where they can exercise their skills, not their degrees, not flying their capes at graduation. No, hands-on.
Yeah.
Hands-on. This is how you make a robot. Right now there's AI. This is how you use AI. These are the tools. These are the things. Yes, then we are shaping the future. But then some applies. If our same leaders, even in the church, even in society, even at the government and national level, they're using the same powerhouse for distraction, yes, then there's no future. Then there's no future. But I must tell you, the future is to the young people. And what is that future? Is it in 2030? No, it's right now. We begin to shape the future right now, right at this very moment. That's when we begin to shape the future. Then we begin to go that way. And therefore, that's how we are going to bring unity. So we should help the young people, ask the young people to be exposed to opportunity, to exercise our talents, and not narrowing it just to the few.
Okay.
You know, it's just on Avandia Ranga Chitebi. No. The cake. Yep. They always call the national cake. Don't say it is a diakoma piece. Okay. But the problem is that this cake is not again for everyone. That's where again the problem is. For a youth to get that opportunity, you are exposing them to my connection. Now, skill is at the expense of connection. Okay, let's speak the fact about this issue. This is what is affecting the young people, and this is what is also frustrating the young people at the same time. Muntu, I don't know if you have done a lot of research. People have got skills. They don't have opportunities. But muntu alibe na vokamba, ali exposed. Why? Because of connection. And people these days now, they boast. Connection is more powerful than education. Connection is more powerful than skill. So what are we doing? We're killing the future. Yes, 3 years, 4 years from now, it is what it is. But 10 years, 20 years, we are going to say that we have got unskilled human resource. Then we begin to wonder, unaspace a branch proposition that you can't even deliver a speech. You can't even write a speech. You are using ChatGPT. The whole lot of a leader now, ufuna secretary kulembere speech. And then we'll be like, how did this person find himself or herself in this position? So if we can become, to use a critical criteria, you have this skill, you deserve it, without looking at the face, without looking at the tribe, without looking at blood relation. But that is what is killing the nation. And this is something. Now, how do you expect someone to be an ego? Okay. So, sorry to use this word. If we continue on this road, we are creating birds, not eagles. Okay. We are creating chickens. Chipanga nkuku instead of my ego. Because now a chicken, exactly. You get that. Then we'll just be excited. Let's talk of Gokuzaronis. Within 3 months, is it 4 months? This is a pack, and they're like, but how long does an ego takes to be an ego? You get go. So if the government really want to make the young people to be egos, then they should also up the game in shaping us to be egos. But if in example national cake nyawa ngono nyawama connection ya tizangala nkoko such a bit stinga mboloroke tidie at the same time Christmas ikabwera tasira just like that. I'm using just metaphorical language, but there should be a way. I'm still coming back. Society, the family, the church, and the government should work together to bring us. Otherwise, once we are lost at this, yes, then there's no future. But I still hold. I still want to tell myself that there's still hope for Zambia.
Okay, so
add one thing to what you just said. One of the things I would like to really add, of course, I completely agree with everything that is actually said. I feel like also one of the things that has to be dealt with in order for youths to actually arise and so is to really do away with the mentality of excuses also.
Exactly.
Because sometimes as youths, we like a blame game also. So what he said is very important, a collective responsibility, which at the center of it all, we're also focusing on this particular youth who we want them to actually arise and so. Mind you, to arise and so is your personal responsibility.
Exactly.
Not that they'll help you to arise and so and everything. You have to put in your own effort, you act, then you arise, and then you sow. So the most important thing is to do away with every excuses. One of the things I've come to realize is that anything that you want to do in life, there's always a reason as to why you shouldn't do it. Literally anything. Today you want to go to school, they'll say, you can't do it because there's no money. Or wait, maybe next year. Or there are always excuses. But the best thing you can do to yourself right now as a youth is to completely kill every excuse that you have.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there's always a reason why you should do it. And once you start, everything just begins to unfold. That's basically the principle of life. The most important thing is get started.
Okay.
With what you have and everything that you have within you, just get started and have the power within you to just keep going and have the resilience to keep going when you face opposition. Then you're good to go.
Wow. Okay, then we are good to go as you would say, even as we celebrate today. So I think just in conclusion, Mr. Paul, tell us, youths, okay. You know, we've talked about a lot of things, we've talked about challenges and other issues. So now, you know, I want you, okay, to encourage us, okay, today, as I celebrate, before I do anything, okay, even maybe I want to let me just be home. You know, there are those things that is happening in lives where someone needs to give up. They are thinking of giving up. They're thinking of, no, okay, I can't start this. If I start this, maybe I'll find challenges ahead of me and I'll fail to finish what I've started. So are we supposed to give up?
No, not really. Not really. You know, as you are saying, there's a phrase that was coming to me, a Latin phrase, "Carpe diem," seize the moment. So first of all, I want to remind all the young people, it is a privilege to be a young person. The opportunities, the chance you still have to make it right. You know, if our elders and adults, that to be honest with you, they'll tell you that I admire this age that you are at, would have done a lot. Not to and the like. If they can be honest, few of them they'll tell you that. Some they'll just die within. But me, I've met few elders who have told me to say, if I was at your age, young man, I would have done this, and this, and the like. You remind me of the younger self. So this is a privilege to be a young person. Number one, invest in your time wisely. Use your time wisely. A lot of us young people, there's just a way we are wasting our time. Number one, on social media. TikTok, to be specific. Mutamba hivi. And the funny part of social media, by the time you realize, you discover time has gone. Be deliberate and intentional with your time, who you invested in, to whom, and to what. Yes, use technology. If you're on social media, learn a skill. Learn a skill. There's something I always joke about. There's University of YouTube. I'll tell you, for example, I have learned programming, not from school. I learned programming from YouTube. Yes, I dedicate myself every day 2 hours to learn just coding. And I'll tell you, the current company I'm working, I'm heading the department without a paper, without anything, just from YouTube. And my boss always asks me, "What of Punzira?" And I always tell him, University of YouTube. That's why I did this. Yes. Right now, I'm also doing a free course on Google Analytics. These are the courses and the job people want. But what are the young people doing on social media? They're just scrolling. But go on YouTube, just click, and I'm going to give you this leakage. Just go on YouTube, just click free AI tools or skill course. You find them. You dedicate yourself 2 hours. Me, I dedicate myself 2 hours just in 2 months. Learned everything, tried on a trial, and someone just saw it. That's how my boss saw it and said, "Are you qualified in this?" I said, "No, me, I'm in a different field, but I'm just passionate with this. Could you come?" That's how I got my job, just right then and there. Within 2 months, again, there's a project worked on, implemented. It's in Lebanon, but of course, we signed a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't expose. But there's a project when I can point at it. It's even shown on BBC, by the way. Me, my pointer, I contributed on this. But this is something I learned with the same Z mobile bundle.
Yes.
That you buy. Your manager 10 kwacha. 999. Your manager, I just dedicate. Same load shedding. 10 seconds I'm not shedding the same. But I dedicated. So no excuse, I'm still in Zambia. Sina pesa nchite kutali. Mu Zambia, my situation is same. Manze kutivuta same.
Yes.
Same. So invest in your time wisely. If you're using social media, you should be learning something. Okay, if you're scrolling on Facebook, at least read something that will build you, not something that will make you toxic. Again, at the end of the day, mambo panga vintu, deliberate and so on. Number 2, I might say a lot, but number 2, make up your mind of who you want to become. It's not too late. Make up your mind of who you want to be and who you want to become. I want to tell you what is total failure. Total failure is not that you failed this course, you failed to become a lawyer, you failed. No, that's not failure. Let me tell you what real failure is. It's going to heaven and God is telling you that you are supposed to be a millionaire, but you died as this. What happened? That's total failure. Total failure is dying being a photocopy of something else. It would have been better if you become a photocopy of yourself, but a photocopy of something else. So make up your mind to be who you are supposed to be. Then I'm going to tell you, you're going to be that ego. That even an ego, do you think an ego is destructive? An ego can narrow on the sea, on the waters, just for that particular fish. Focus. That's this. So make up your mind. Number 3, choose your association. Choose who you follow. Choose who you look up to. Choose who and how. Especially, I'm going to end with this. How do you want to end your life? How do you want to end your life? I leave it there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe the show is very, very interesting. And from the start, we've been discussing, this topic. And I'm sure our viewers have learned something, and we are still learning something. So I believe we've come to conclude. We are concluding this topic. And as this team that brought to you this topic as Voice of Ecclesia Choir is welcoming youths. Okay, you are a youth where you are. This group is trying by all means, to bring these youths who are doing something, or youths who can do something to this, in this society. So each and every youth, wherever you are, where you are right now, not to say there's a group like Voice which needs you to join them, and be there yourself. Show yourself what you can do. Show us what you can do. Show the society what you can do. Don't just be home there. Show yourself. Step out. Come to join this group, and this group is really, really in need of you as a youth. So we've come to the end. We say thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you so much for supporting Lumen TV. Continue supporting Lumen TV. Continue watching Lumen TV, for this TV is great and we are enjoying as Voice of Ecclesia. Thank you so much. We say happy Youth Day.
This is JB Freshman. Arise and soar, like the eagle in the sky. Spread your wings and testify.